The cleaner's boots creaked on the shiny tiles as he pulled his mop across the foyer deep into the night. Nobody truly saw him. To the bustling managers in crisp suits, he was merely a shadow in a uniform. Yet to Lily Harper, the youngest CEO in the firm's history, he stood out. Something in his quiet, steady work, with a tired pride in his gaze, drew her in. One evening, when the office cleared out, leaving only his silhouette, she chose to trail him. She never expected that decision would reveal a tale that would transform her life forever. The man's name was Ethan Brooks, a lone father in his 30s who never met eyes with passers-by. His shoulders seemed slightly stooped, not only from years of hard work, but from the silent burden of hidden struggles. Lily had only glimpsed him before, hauling buckets, buffing floors, or fixing things others ignored. That night, a spark of curiosity burned in her heart. Who was this man who carried storms in his silence? She lingered outside in her sleek car, watching him clock out and step into the chilly night with just a tattered backpack over his shoulder. Instead of heading to the bus stop, Ethan took a winding path through dimly lit streets, stopping at a shabby apartment block. Lily kept her distance, her pulse racing oddly. Inside the cracked walls of that tiny apartment, Ethan's secret came to light. Through the window, Lily saw a young girl, barely 7, at a rickety table, her homework spread under a single lamp's glow. Her face glowed with joy the moment Ethan entered, rushing into his arms with a warmth that could mend any pain. Lily sat frozen in her car. She watched him set down his bag, pulling out a small takeout box and dividing it between them, acting as if it sufficed. The scene was both beautiful and heart-wrenching. She understood then that the man who scrubbed her company's floors nightly was a father fighting silently for his daughter's future. In the days that followed, Lily couldn't concentrate. She kept picturing how Ethan's daughter embraced him, how carefully he served her food, giving her the larger portion. A question weighed on her heart. How could someone toil so hard, give so much, yet remain unseen? That's when she made a choice no CEO would expect to make. She would enter his world, not as a superior, but as someone eager to understand. The next evening she followed him again, but this time she knocked on his door. Ethan was shocked, confused to see his CEO in the hallway of his crumbling home. He seemed ashamed, almost guarded, as if bracing for criticism. But Lily smiled softly and said, "I just wanted to see how you're doing." His daughter peeked out, shy yet curious. Lily knelt to her level, greeting her with warmth. That small act cracked something in Ethan, the barrier he'd built to shield his struggles. As they talked, Lily learned the truth. His wife had left years ago, unable to bear the weight of poverty. Ethan worked 2 jobs to raise his daughter, refusing to lose her to foster care. Every penny went to rent, food, and school supplies, leaving nothing for himself. He cleaned the floors of a company he could never afford to enter as a client. Yet he held himself with dignity, never seeking sympathy, only working harder each day. Lily's heart ached as she listened. She wasn't just hearing a tale of survival. She was witnessing a man's quiet courage. Weeks turned to months, and Lily's visits grew frequent. Sometimes she brought groceries, sometimes books for the little girl, but above all she brought hope. Ethan hesitated at first, his pride resisting help. But Lily reminded him that kindness wasn't charity, it was humanity. Slowly, he opened up. She saw the man beyond the cleaner's uniform, the father who read bedtime stories with weary eyes, the dreamer who once aimed to be an engineer before life pushed him down. But challenges persisted. One night, Ethan's daughter fell ill, and he couldn't cover the hospital bills. Lily arrived at the emergency room, standing by him as his hands shook. She used her resources to ensure the girl was cared for, but more than that, she showed Ethan he wasn't alone. For the first time in years, he let tears fall, and Lily steadied his trembling shoulders like an anchor. That night changed everything. Lily didn't just want to help from afar, she wanted to transform his life. Back at the company, she called a board meeting, stunning everyone by proposing a program for overlooked workers like cleaners, security guards, and cafeteria staff. She spoke with passion about dignity, about hidden struggles, about how people like Ethan were the foundation of every organization. It wasn't just charity, it was justice. Moved by her resolve, the board agreed. Ethan was promoted to a supervisory role with better wages and benefits. His daughter received a scholarship funded by the program. For the first time, they lived without fear of the next bill or empty plate. Ethan's eyes, once dim with exhaustion, now shone with light. Lily didn't stop there. She kept pushing for policies that valued every worker, no matter their role. The story of a CEO who quietly followed her cleaner spread like wildfire. Some questioned her approach, but most were inspired. To Lily, it wasn't about fame. It was about one little girl who could now dream without limits, and one father who saw his sacrifices were worthwhile. And so the cleaner who was once unseen became a symbol of resilience. The CEO who once led from the top floor learned that true leadership begins at the ground level, where the human heart beats strongest. Together, they reminded everyone of a truth too often overlooked. Sometimes those who seem to have the least give the most. And when someone truly sees them, the world changes forever.